Every summer now, the heat breaks another record. France has hit 44.3 degrees Celsius, its hottest day since 1947. Phoenix regularly crosses 45. The UK keeps seeing its hottest days on record. And heat waves have quietly become one of the deadliest weather events on the planet. Here's the thing, millions of homes going through this don't even have air conditioning. So what if the solution isn't a bigger air conditioner unit, but a weaving pattern people have used for 1,000 years? Hand-woven bamboo lattices, wrapped around buildings, cooling them without a single extra watt of electricity. In places that do have air conditioners, the problem is cost. Every degree Celsius the temperature climbs pushes cooling demand up by roughly 3%, straining grids when they're least equipped to handle it. But across Europe, the problem is more basic. Only about 20% of homes have air conditioning at all, compared to 90% in the US. Most of the continent's buildings were designed for the opposite job entirely, keeping heat in through cold winters, not letting it out through hot summers. Thick walls, small windows, barely any way for air to move through the house. That design is now working against them. Now here's where it gets interesting. Long before anyone had electric air conditioning, house builders in hot climates solved this with deliberately placed, carefully angled holes, woven screens over windows, pierced stone walls, lattice after lattice. A lattice lets light in and blocks the sun's direct hit at the same time, the same way a wide-brimmed hat shades your face without covering your eyes. Architects are now taking that exact logic and scaling it up, wrapping entire buildings in bamboo screens instead of solid glass or brick. Picture a strainer versus a solid bowl. A solid wall blocks everything, heat included, which just builds up and gets trapped inside. A woven lattice does it better. It filters. Sunlight gets broken up and scattered before it reaches the window, while air keeps moving freely through every gap in the weave. That moving air carries heat away as it passes, the same way opening two windows on opposite sides of a room creates a cool, cross breeze instead of a stuffy trap. Hot air rises and escapes through the gaps, pulling cooler air in right behind it, all on its own, no fan needed. Swap one solid pane for a few thousand tiny gaps, and the wall stops holding onto heat and starts constantly exhaling it. This isn't a lab theory made up yesterday. In humid parts of China, woven bamboo and mud walls have been nicknamed breathing walls for generations, because that's literally what they do. In coastal Ecuador, builders have used the same bamboo species for thousands of years because its low density lets heat pass through it. Researchers have actually measured this directly when they tested a modern bamboo-based building system against a standard one. The bamboo version cut the number of hours the indoor temperature spent above 35 degrees by up to 60% over a full year. This idea has already spread around the world. In 2019, Washington, D.C. got its first bamboo building allowed under normal U.S. building rules, a compact structure with walls made from ready-made bamboo panels. In Belgium, a 28-meter bamboo tower now stands, built from more than 1,700 poles, the first of its size anywhere on the continent. And in Abu Dhabi, the Al Bahar Towers wrapped two 145-meter towers in over 1,000 moving lattice panels, modeled on a centuries-old desert sunscreen design, cutting the sun's heat hitting the glass by 50%. 3 completely different climates, all using the same weave. Here's the practical case for betting on this, over waiting for more air conditioners. Tearing open an old European apartment building to install central air conditioning is slow, expensive, and pulls even more power off an already strained grid. A woven screen bolted onto the outside wall can go up fast, doesn't need new wiring, and starts blocking heat immediately. In a region where 4 out of 5 homes still don't have any kind of AC, a fix that doesn't need new wiring or a bigger grid can really make an immediate difference. That said, none of this replaces air conditioning, and it shouldn't be seen that way. Bamboo needs proper treatment to survive damp winters and pests, and a lattice facade works best as one layer in a hybrid system, not a total replacement. What it does do is cut how hard any cooling system has to work which, at city scale, is exactly the kind of margin that decides whether a power grid holds or buckles on the next record-breaking afternoon. So the most advanced cooling idea we have might not be something we invent, it might be something we already have since the olden days. A weaving pattern so old that nobody knows who first made it, now getting studied and rebuilt by architects with computer wind simulations and heat-sensing cameras, arriving at the same answer craftsmen reached by hand centuries ago, which leaves a real question worth sitting with. How many other old, unglamorous ideas are we still overlooking?